Have you ever wanted to start your own podcast? I record and publish podcasts on a platform called Spotify for Podcasters, and I absolutely love it. Essentially, you can upload from your phone or computer, and it distributes to every platform that plays podcasts. They support video podcasts, and you can make money on the platform with ads or even podcast subscriptions, something that has made my life so much easier as a podcaster. So if you're interested, I highly recommend you give it a try. You can download the Spotify for Podcast app, or go to spotify.com/podcasters to get started on your podcast today. After Sam Altman shockingly was fired as CEO of OpenAI, a huge kerfuffle has happened over the weekend where essentially he was gone, then they almost brought him back, then all the employees threatened to quit, and then they still did not bring him back. They chose a new CEO, which is Emmett Shear, who is the former CEO of Twitch. Today, I want to talk about everything that is happening in this situation, and specifically, Emmett Shear has broken his silence and is talking for the first time about everything he knows about why Sam Altman was fired, what his whole situation was becoming the CEO of OpenAI, what that looked like, and essentially he's telling us a little bit about this entire situation that you're not going to find some of this information anywhere else. So a lot of this was posted on Twitter or X in a post by Emmett Shear. He said, quote, "Today I got a call inviting me to consider a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to become the interim CEO of OpenAI." I think this is important because he's not the permanent CEO. He's another interim CEO. They got Mia as the interim CEO. She's out one day later, assuming because she supports Sam Altman, and now they have another one. So two CEOs. I mean, with Sam Altman, in the last 4 days, they've had 3 CEOs of OpenAI. Things are not looking good. In any case, Emmett says, "After consulting with my family and reflecting on it for just a few hours, I accepted." So he really did not take a lot of time, a couple hours, and he decided he was going to do this. He said, "I recently resigned from my role as CEO of Twitch due to the birth of my now 9-month-old son. Spending time with him has been every bit as rewarding as I thought it would be, and I was happily avoiding full-time employment. I took this job because I believe that OpenAI is one of the most important companies currently in existence. When the board shared the situation and asked me to take the role, I did not take the decision lightly. Ultimately, I felt that I had a duty to help if I could." So this is absolutely fascinating. Emmett was at Twitch. He left for the birth of his son. He was taking time off. He got this opportunity and he decided to come on. Now, a lot of people think like, oh my gosh, this is great. He's going to come in and get OpenAI whipped back into shape, which I sure hope he does. But the things that really concern me the most, and that a lot of people have been saying specifically in regards to this whole situation, is that Emmett traditionally has been found a number of times saying that we need to slow down the rate of development. This is what a lot of people are concerned about, essentially saying that the reason Sam Altman got kicked out of the company is because things were accelerating too fast and people wanted to slow it down. Now, this is specifically a tweet from Emmett Shear earlier this year. He said, in regards to AI development, he said, "I specifically say I'm in favor of slowing down," which is sort of like pausing, except it's slowing down. If we're at speed 10 right now, a pause is reducing to 0. I think we should aim for 1 to 2. So literally, he is saying a 80 to 90% reduction in development speed. Now, if this sounds like something that would be exciting to the employees at OpenAI, I absolutely do not think this is the case. And I think a lot of people are seriously concerned that essentially we've gotten rid of Sam Altman, who is cranking out incredible updates all year long. He's the one that really pushed to get ChatGPT out, and now we're bringing in a CEO that's saying, hey, we need to just slow down development on everything going on. China's not slowing down development. Elon Musk and XAI is not slowing down development, despite what he may have said in, a letter earlier this year. Amazon, Google, no one is slowing down development, except for, it would appear, now we have the CEO of OpenAI that is calling to slow down development. He also said, quote, "I've spent today drinking from the fire hose as much as possible, speaking with the board, a small number of major partners, and listening to employees. Our partnership with Microsoft remains strong, and my priority in the coming weeks will be to make sure we continue to serve all our customers well. OpenAI employees are extremely impressive, as you might have guessed, and mission-driven in the extreme, and it's clear that the process and communications around Sam's removal have been handled very badly, which has seriously damaged our trust." Okay, just unpacking everything here. First off, he says our partnership with Microsoft remains strong. Yes, obviously, Microsoft literally owns 50% of the company, so you would hope it's strong. I'm sure Microsoft, after seeing all of this, literally just wants to say, forget about this entire group of, this entire organization, but they put $10 billion into this. They're not walking away. They're going to get as much value as they can out of the company. But by the fact that Microsoft immediately poached their CEO, sticking them in the company, and is welcoming any of their employees to come and join, makes me feel like Microsoft doesn't care so much about OpenAI as much as they care about protecting their investment and their dollars and the technology in OpenAI. They don't really care about the company. They just want to extract the value to make sure Microsoft benefits to the most. The second thing is, of course, he mentions the team, which of course is incredibly talented team, but 700 out of 770 employees said that they're going to quit now that Sam's gone. So this company is getting completely gutted, a lot of them going over to Microsoft. So this is going to be an incredibly challenging time to keep this company together. And the last thing I want to say is that he says the process and communications around Sam's removal have been handled very badly. He does not seem to have any allegiance or loyalty to Sam, I think, in this message, right? Sam's the old guy. He's getting replaced. He's coming in to replace him. And he's just like, yeah, like the whole the communication was bad. But he didn't say like it shouldn't have happened or Sam should still be here. So evidently, whatever he knows, and he talks about this a little bit later on, so we're going to get to that, whatever he knows, he thinks is warranted or justified for Sam's removal, which is very interesting. He said, this is his plan for bringing the company together. He said, I have a 3-point plan for the next 30 days. Number 1, hire an independent investigation to dig into the entire process leading up to this point and generate a full report. So transparency. This is what everyone wants. No one even knows why Sam was fired. I mean, everyone is speculating. There's a ton of speculation that he wanted to go fast and other people on the board wanted to go slow. It clashed. Maybe he wasn't forthright with some bit of information. Some people say AGI has arrived and he wasn't telling the board, and so they got rid of him. Whatever the case is, there's not good communication. No one knows. There's no transparency. So the new CEO, I got to respect. Number 1, he said, we're doing a full investigation and we're going to release support. So that's great. Number 2, he said, continue to speak to as many of our employees, partners, investors, and customers as possible. Take good notes and share the key takeaways. Okay. I mean, of course, again, this is transparency. He's sharing the takeaways. At this point, it's like he's not coming in to build the company. He's literally coming in for damage control. He is trying to salvage what is otherwise a sinking ship, essentially. So it's kind of interesting because when you see, CEOs, emergency time CEOs come in, a lot of times they're like, we're firing, like look at Elon Musk buying Twitter. Okay. This is a great example. He fires everyone. He lets on a bunch of new people. He makes a bunch of changes. He ships a ton of updates real fast. People like love him and hate him for like different reasons. And there's all the controversy around it. But like Elon Musk's problems were completely different. The company was like not profitable. It was struggling. It was going to go bankrupt, right? This is different. OpenAI is absolutely crushing it. The CEO was well loved. Like everything in everything looked like it was going good, but maybe it was going too good and something in there was happening. So we're getting a new CEO and pretty much all of his communications around this is transparency. I'm going to explain to everyone what happened, which I think at this point, if people are going to trust the company and keep using it, that's what he has to do. The third thing he said in his 30-day plan is reform the management and leadership team in light of recent departures into an effective force to drive results for our customers. I love that he's focusing on driving results. He's focusing on the customers. Obviously, when he says reform the management and leadership team, okay, well, like 90% of your employees right now are threatening to leave. I'm not 100% sure if they will or won't leave. You have to admit a ton of them will leave. So reform the management and leadership team, AKA he has to rebuild the entire company. It's going to get completely gutted, okay? This is what else he said. Depending on the results, everything we learn from these, I will drive changes into the organizations, up to and including pushing strongly for significant governance changes if necessary. AKA he's saying, look, I'm going to make sure this entire mess that happened where a handful of people, 3 or 4 people on the board, annihilated the entire company. This is not going to happen. We're going to fix these governance changes. People have criticized them for a long time. It's time that they get fixed. No one can take this company seriously if something like this can happen. He said, if necessary, we'll be rolling these out as they become clear over the next 30-day period. OpenAI's stability and success are too important to allow turmoil to disrupt them like this. Yeah, everyone agrees. This is completely unwarranted. This is a company that was making massive strides, changing so much, and we all feel very much on edge that this whole thing is going to get completely nuked, which is not great. He said, I will endeavor to address the key concerns as well, although in many cases I believe it may take longer than a month to achieve true progress. I think this is absolutely like unprecedented and crazy everything that's happened. So yes, this will probably take a while. He also said, I have nothing but respect for what Sam and the entire OpenAI team have built. Okay, so giving credit. He's not just straight up saying Sam's a terrible guy. And of course, he's got to do this if he's going to keep any semblance of the company together, given how popular Sam was. He said, it's not just an incredible research project and software project. It's an incredible company. I'm here because I know that, and I want to do everything in my power to protect it and grow it further. He said, it's now 1 a.m. and I'll pick this up tomorrow. Then he also said, I'm posting this here on Twitter or X, right? Because I think it is in the general public interest to know in this case, but please don't expect all future internal communications to come through a public channel, right? He's saying like, I'm not the personal secretary. I don't know. He's not the communications department. Although in a situation like this, when they're like, oh, should we send out a press release? Should we send an email? No, the CEO needs to just go public on Twitter and just post what the heck is happening in the most real time possible, because otherwise no one knows and there's way more confusion. The last thing he said, PPS, before I took the job, I checked on the reasoning behind the change. The board did not, and he emphasized that, remove Sam over any specific disagreements on safety. The reasoning was completely different from that. I'm not crazy enough to take this job without board support for commercializing our awesome models. Okay, what he's saying here is essentially Sam wasn't fired because he was monetizing the models like a lot of people speculate. There's so many speculations, so he just addressed one of them. What he did say that was interesting is the board didn't remove Sam over any specific disagreement on safety, but maybe more broadly their safety concerns, more broadly some sort of issue, a completely different issue. He said their reasoning was completely different than that. But he doesn't go into it. He doesn't elaborate. But evidently he's spoken with the board. He knows what the reasoning is. He's not going public with it because he's probably trying to get some semblance. The last thing I want to finish this off with is that Elon Musk replied with a meme and said, if you could get me those TPS reports to me as soon as possible, that would be great. Everyone is wondering what is going on. And really the question is, can Emmett Shear save OpenAI? Can he put it back together? A lot of people are concerned that he's just going to slow down progress, that he's going to be the guy that comes in and does reports. Now, that being said, he is the interim CEO. He's an emergency CEO. He's coming here to fix a very big problem. So I think people do have to give him some slack. He's not going to be in here long term. He's going to try to fix this mess and get OpenAI back to the well-oiled machine that it was, running as smoothly as possible. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this progresses. Make sure if you are interested in AI that you go and get on the wait list for AIbox.ai. This is my own software platform. It's a no-code AI app builder and marketplace. And the thing that is beautiful about this is that when you have a situation that arises with everything happening in AI, a lot of people are questioning the reliance on OpenAI. Is it a reliable company anymore? Are they going to be able to support developers? Us over at AI Box are making a no-code AI app builder and marketplace that is AI model agnostic, meaning if you build a tool on our platform, not only can you monetize it on a marketplace, but if a company like OpenAI has a big issue, let's say Sam Altman leaves, all the employees leave, the whole thing falls apart, your tool is not broken. You can go in there, swap it out for something like Anthropic's Claude or any other AI model that you want. You can swap out all the individual pieces in AI models with other AI models, and the whole thing will still be able to function. We really, truly believe that the future of AI is going to look like thousands of AI models that are very specifically used for very specific tasks, and that it's not just going to be the handful of major AI companies we see with a couple big solutions. This is going to be thousands of AI models, and we're building a platform that can impact that. If you're interested in using the platform, go to AIbox.ai to use it. And in addition, if you're interested in investing in what we're building, we've launched a crowdfunding round in the last 3 weeks. We've raised $300,000. You can go over to republic.com/AI-box. I'll leave a link in the description of this for that. But make sure to go check that out if you're interested in investing in a brand new AI startup. I think this is going to be very interesting, everything going on in the space right now, but I'll definitely keep you up to date on everything happening as it unfolds.